Why did my son ask who I was when I got home? Asterisk, asterisk, when I left for deployment. My son was barely 2. He had just learned to say, Dad, and every morning he'd crawl into bed with us, tug on my arm, and giggle until I opened my eyes. I promised him I'd be home before his 3rd birthday. I promised my wife I'd be safe, but sometimes life doesn't care about promises. Our convoy was hit. I was the only one in my unit who survived, but my injuries were severe. They flew me home unconscious, and I spent weeks in and out of surgeries, slipping between consciousness and something darker. They eventually told my wife I was in a coma, and they didn't know if I'd ever wake up. I didn't open my eyes until 3 years later. 3 years. The first face I saw was my wife's. She looked older, tired, but her eyes lit up when I said her name. I tried to move, but everything felt distant, like my body didn't belong to me anymore. Still, I was alive. She held my hand and whispered, "There's someone who wants to meet you." A little boy walked into the room slowly, holding a drawing. He had dark eyes, my eyes, but he didn't say anything at first, just stared at me like I was a stranger. I smiled through tears and said, "Hey, buddy." He looked up at my wife and asked, "Mom, is that the man from the picture?" I stopped breathing for a second. That picture. It's the one she kept on the mantle. The one of us before I left. It's the one he must have stared at growing up. I had become just a memory to him, a story, photo in a frame, not his dad. I nodded slowly, choking back tears, and said, "Yeah, I'm the man from the picture." It took months of rehab, months of therapy, months of sitting on the floor building Legos, just to hear him laugh. But one night, when he finally crawled into bed next to me during a thunderstorm, wrapped his little arms around me, and whispered, "I'm glad the man from the picture came back," I knew I was home, even if I had to start all over.